So the topic is on the screen. So the light கொஞ்சம் off பண்ணிருங்க. Very good. I came early at 8:30 to make sure that whatever slides I prepared is visible and readable to the audience. So I just walked through the hall and I realized that the hall is too big, the screen is too small. So I already made a suggestion to the organizers to next time onwards, when you have 150 plus people, obviously the screen has to be as big as the backdrops. Nowadays, even in schools, annual day, they put a very big this thing. So I sat here in the corner and tried to edit my slides to make my words a little bigger. If at all you are unable to read, I'm sorry for that. Before I go into, I just wanted to make sure that we are aligned on the time. My time is given 1 hour, and you know that this topic cannot be covered in 1 hour. So I don't want anybody to steal away my time. I'm starting at 11:16, and I'll only finish at 12:16. 1 hour is my time, and I'll take it. Is that okay? Very good. Thank you. I just want to leave a word in your mind so that we will revisit that word again and again later. If anybody can help me to tell me that, ISO documentation, ISO procedure, ISO quality management system is around a word. What is that word? What is that word? ISO is around a word. Process. So I want you to keep it in mind, process. Tamil sonna செயல். செயலின்றி எதுவும் இல்லை. So everything what we talk, improvement or changes, we say change is permanent. What is that we change? We change the process. We change our process. Individual behaviors is a process and company's process. So change is always on the process. What you do, you will be doing differently. That is change. So I leave that process word in your mind, and we'll come back to that word again and again during this 1 hour session. And so just to give you an overview, again, good morning to everybody, and thank you very much for the CPC for the wonderful opportunity to talk to you. My heartfelt gratitude. So I have a small agenda to cover. This 1 hour is too tight. This is a topic even you can talk for 8 hours. So I'll start with a story, and then I have an objective for my session, what I wanted to deliver today into your mind. And I'll just try to give an introduction of why this topic, where it came from. Then I'll try to collaborate with you, talk to you, and try to once again define quality. Then I talk a little about the cost of quality. Many people, including the inaugural president and the chief guest and all, talked over that. Then I come to the topic of the day is that what is producing quality, what are the connections between TQM, TPM, and Six Sigma, Lean, etc., what we have spoken. Why I'm trying to talk a different word when everybody is talking around TPM and TQM. Then we'll talk about the 5M and some engineering activities, etc. Then we touch upon the second subtitle of the session, which is the challenges around producing quality in a sustainable basis. So, are we clear? Very good. So let's start with the story. The story you must have heard many times or you have read in the WhatsApp messages. Normally we have a habit of getting WhatsApp message, and before even we read it, we normally forward it. So our WhatsApp is basically to forward. It's a wonderful message, you got it, and I have a habit of such wonderful messages to revisit it, reflect on that, and then store it for the appropriate moment to be used. I have been talking about the same topic for almost 25 years. But somebody in a very small video put it in a nice manner, which I did not do for years. So I appreciate and I thank him before I tell you. So I will just try to connect, first tell the story and then come back to my session. So the Pulsar Bajaj bike, so there was a gentleman and he spoke in one of the sessions like this in front of a college audience about X. So I'll tell you what is X means. So he was asking the audience, or he was telling the story of the audience to the audience that he was in the process of developing the Pulsar vehicle, and he was the vice president product development, and they had some kind of an arrangement with a Japanese guru, which you all know, the Professor Yamaguchi himself. So he had a chance to meet him, and they were either in the Bajaj venue or they went to Japan, that doesn't matter. So one day in a reception hall, this gentleman, the vice president of Bajaj Product Development, met this Professor Yamaguchi, and then just wished him, sir, good morning, sir. In the morning, he said, good morning, and who are you? He said, I'm so-and-so, come from India, and I am vice president of product development. He looked at like an alien, and then looked at, oh, what is your job? He asked him, what is your job? He said, that's what I said, I am vice president product development. Again, he looked at him as an alien and said, that is damn your designation. What is your job? And he said, so I have a team of people, I develop products, and I sell it in the market. So that means you are having a whiteboard on which you are making drawings yourself. He said, no, I don't make drawings. I have a team of people. With him, we develop, with those people, I develop products. So you have a team of people, so you are an HR guy managing team of people. So he was trying to explain to the extent possible to him, and Yamaguchi was always countering that. End of the day, you all managers in a professional organization don't do anything in your bare hands. You always talk about doing something using other people. If everybody else is doing something, what is your job? If they are developing, if your team is making a drawing and making a product, what is your job? What is your job? You ask yourself, what is your job? What is our job? What is our purpose in the life? What is our job? The answer is that, he said, your job is improvement. It is improvement. Now we connect to our Tamil proverb, Matram ondrudan matram illadadu. What is matram? Change. What is change? I say change is equal to improvement. What is that you change? You change something better than yesterday. You change something which is whatever you are doing, your status quo, you try to change. Nobody will change to be bad, right? Everybody will try to change better than. Better than is improvement, right? So change is nothing but better than, is nothing but improvement. And improvement is nothing but continuous improvement, right? You cannot make changes and then forget everything. So everybody's life, everybody's responsibility, accountability in life is nothing but keep improving in the domain in which you are working for. So now let me put that word improvement into anything what you do as a prefix, as a suffix, it will exactly fit in. You take my example, managing director. What is my job as managing director? My job is improve the lifestyle of my employees, improve my turnover, improve my profit, improve my working environment, right? Give more, job to my people. So like that, you put anything what you do, you put the word either before or after. It will exactly fit in. You try whatever you do. So in that job, in that domain, your job is to improve the status quo every day. So every day before you go back home from your job, what is that I improved from yesterday? Keep that in mind. Visit the story again. Next day morning, so he said, yes, sir, I understood now. I will try to do. He left, and the next day morning coming again, the reception, he met Mr. Yamaguchi again. He wished him again, and he said, sir, remember me, I met you yesterday. So he was trying to recollect, and then, so you taught me about my job. My job is improvements. I realized, okay, what is that you improved from yesterday to now? So yesterday only you told me, sir, I'm going to do that. You have taken 24 hours. You did not improve anything. That's what we do. And we are talking a topic, quality is not a destination. It's a journey, and you need to improve it on a daily basis. And if you are not into the habit of changing every day, not into the habit of improving every day, not believing that change is permanent, nothing will change in quality also. Are we in agreement? Change is continuous improvement. So our job is, our purpose is that whatever you do, in your personal life also, take your father as a father role, you put whatever you do to your kids and your wife and your subordinates or your dependents around, is nothing but improve whatever they have, whatever you do for them in a daily basis, better than yesterday. So the purpose of life, people say anything, is very simple. Improvement is our job. In a different position, as managing director, I improve as managing director whatever I can. As an operator, as a supervisor, you will improve in your domain whatever you can on a daily basis. That is your job. Being a supervisor is an opportunity. Supervisor is not the job. The job is improving on the supervisory role is our job. Are we clear? Very good. Thank you for that. So with the story we move on. So objective is that I put 4 lines to understand quality cost. Quality you all know. So to understand the meaning of producing quality, to understand the challenges in producing and sustaining on the quality, and the suggestions to overcome the challenges in consistently. I have a spelling mistake, sorry for that, late night working. So introduction to the day's session. You remember there was a quality conclave in the same hall in 2019. Ma'am must be remembering, and the other ma'am left, and sir was the president at that time. And I was the guest speaker on that day, or the, what do you call that, whatever role Sendil Kumar did, I was so I spoke about, touched upon this topic already in 2019 in the same forum. I don't know, some of you maybe already attended that program. So that time the topic was quality is produced through best practices. If you replace the word practice with a process, so quality is produced through best processes. So I told you in the beginning of the session, keep the word process in mind, is equal to SIL. So quality skill, quality job is not checking. If you are having an excellent ability to check something, that is not quality talent. That's a hard skill which you developed. And even a 10th standard student can be developed, trained to use a machine to check something. Because he's going to do that day in and day out, he become master on that. But that is not the actual talent of building quality or producing products with quality, right? I am a strong believer that the Western influence, American influence, after the 1996, 94, the PS 9000 came into the country, and subsequently ISO adopted that as TS 16949. You all must be knowing. So now if you interview people and then you ask them what is their talents, everybody says I am master in APQP, I am master in PPOP. And all these are documentation. And the so-called skill of the Indian quality talent has become talent of managing the documentation. And your talent has to be on producing quality, right? Producing quality products. And somebody said in the inaugural session that consistently reducing rejections and every saving of money per rupee is going into the bottom line of your company. That is nothing but profit, right? Your rejection is a loss and the rejection is saved. It is going into the bottom line directly. Profit will increase, right? That's our social commitment, right? Our cost should not bleed. But what happened? The American influence, they got benefited. Some of us might got more money in terms of salary, but the talent of the country is gone in terms of how do we produce consistently products with quality. But we become masters of documentation to support them, to prove them that our products are with quality. What is your documentation doing to prove the Western world that what I'm sending is with quality? That's nothing but proving yourself, right? But somehow we become like that. That is what I hate doing that. That's all our job. We missed that. So the same topic, again, Srinivas sir approached me for the exercise. I told him, sir, I already did this once as a guest speaker without any slides, because in the inaugural, normally you don't put a slide. So then this time we tried to tweak around a little on my topic. And I said, okay, we talked about this, since there are maybe many audiences fresh also. So it's slightly a cover here, and also I come back to talk a little about the challenges, why we are unable to do it. So before I do that, in the quality is produced with best practices, not checked. If I divide that into little words, you get quality is produced, best practices, and not checked. And I try to just decode a little for us better understanding of what it is. So you know the word decode, no? We normally decode things. We normally don't decode things. That is why we normally spend more time. So for example, you're trying to solve a problem in a company, and people will teach you problem solving technique, etc. The most important thing they tell you is that the problem itself to be properly defined. What you heard may not be your problem. That may be an effect of a problem, but the problem to be properly defined first. Then you decode your problem statement properly. It will easily take you to the root cause of the problem, right? But if you don't, without decoding, normally certain things you don't understand. So quality as a word you all understand already. But still I just like to spend some time on talking about So can you, somebody say simply, what is quality? X, Y, anybody? Just say something about what is your understanding of quality. Customer delight, something. Customer satisfaction, reliability. So what does it mean? If there is only one meaning for quality, everybody will say the same statement, right? So if you learn for, if adaptation means it is only one meaning. There is a English word, you have only one meaning. Quality, when I ask in any forum, you ask yourself, everybody will say something. And everything is right. Nothing can be declared wrong. That means what? Quality do not have a defined Oxford dictionary definition. Right? Agree or not? So it can be different. The word quality does not have a unique meaning and varies depending on person and perception. What do you think about quality towards your society? So if somebody says that no, quality is my responsibility or accountability, make sure that my society is getting benefited because of the quality product. Somebody may connect that to society, like Japanese. Somebody may say that I just want to keep my customer happy. Why should you keep your customer happy? Your job is to supply a good quality product to your customer, right? So like that, no, everybody has got different meaning. You look at some meanings I put here in common. Excellence are very good products. Simple, every common man can understand. Quality means it's a very good product, a very good service. It's as simple as that, right? Perform or satisfy the customer's requirements. It conforms to your requirements. It fit and for functions or fitness to use, loss to society. Japanese said, loss to society once a defective product is shipped into the society. Means what? A less mileage vehicle by mistake shipped into the society. What happens? That vehicle consumes more petrol, right? Like that, any product goes into the market, which is wrong, that it consumes more energy from the society. So as ISO 9000 says, totality of features and characteristics of a product or service that bear on its ability to satisfy stated or implied needs. And I hate that statement. It's too complicated, right? It's too complicated. What is complicated? Never get practiced. If you put a system in place, if the system is not practical, it will never take shape. People will just ignore it, throw it away. So all this meaning makes sense. And for me, this makes though it's all same only, but the way they described it, they could have been much more easier and simpler. But some of the so-called quality gurus of the world, they said, quality is conformance requirement. It's almost same. Quality is predictable degree of uniformity. Juran said quality is fitness for use. And RJ said quality is synonymous with customer needs. So basically, it is customer need, it is requirement. Is the product is meeting the intended requirements or not? The intended function or not, right? So for example, when we start a product development, we put some objectives in place. We study the market, what the market is looking for, and we put an objective in place. One of the objectives, for example, you're developing a vehicle, is that the consumption of the petrol should not be less than this, right? The initial acceleration or the pickup to 60 kilometers should be within 5 seconds. Like that, you put some functions or objectives in place, and you only release that product into the market when you meet that intended functions, right? If the intended functions are not met, your product is not passed. It has to be redone again. No? But normally, if you spend 1 or 2 years and then there is some gap, then you make a compromise. Okay, let it go. Yeah, let us look into that in the next product. We make compromises, and in quality, you cannot compromise. So many people spoken about cost of quality. So I ask you, according to me, or if you read it, you will all find out, there are different costs involved in producing a quality as of today. Can you name some of the cost involved? Anybody from the audience? What is mean by quality cost to you? Any idea? Mistake? Okay, so cost of defects. Anybody else? Return cost, same, is cost of the defective part that includes your transportation cost. Anybody else? Appraisal cost, yes. Yes, exactly. Failure cost, same. So let us give him a big round of applause, sir, that it's appraisal cost. So we have three costs here. Failure cost, as ma'am said. Appraisal cost, as sir said. But we have one more cost. So appraisal cost means what? Failure cost means your defect. Rejection has happened. You have to throw that component. And that component has got material, process cost, your energy, time, power, lot of things are used on that. The component value changes from operation to operation and it is finally gone waste. Your productivity goes down and because you are one of the 10 component reject means the 10 component productivity is also lost. You must have committed to your customer, you will send 10 numbers list and it is lost to you. That is failure cost. Appraisal cost means to detect whether it is okay or not. Your inspection, your measurement, your surface table, your metrology room, and your 15% of the normal Indian industry's manpower is people to check quality. Right? That is the topic I am talking. If you are able to produce quality, why should you check quality? Because you know that your system will produce defects. And you are sitting 10-15 people, you are verifying, checking, filtering, and sending the customer only okay, the rejection you are throwing it out. That's lost to your employer. Right? So you spend a lot of money on appraising yourself that it got rejected. Whereas we spend, especially in India, very less money to prevent the defect from happening. Right? Prevention is that you have a process in place. If you develop the process in a way that process always produce quality products. If you are confident that that is always producing quality product, why should you check? Why can't we spend that money what you spent on appraisal for preventing it? We don't do it normally. Such prevention cost. So I already described, so I just skip it. Whatever I described to you, just put it in a statement. Normally this slide is almost 80 slides. We don't use all the slides because this is my training session and all, I've used this. So in 1 hour I just talk and then out of the three, which is the lowest and which is the highest in most of the companies which you think? எதில் நிறைய செலவு பண்ணுறோம், எதில் கம்மியாக செலவு பண்ணுறோம்? ஃபெயிலியர்லையா, அப்ரைசல்லையா, ப்ரிவென்ஷன்லையா? எதில் செலவு பண்ணியிருக்கணும்? Prevention. So that's what Juran said. The money spent on prevention, this aspect is described by Dr. Juran as gold in the mine. That means you spend your money on the prevention cost and you save rejections that goes directly into your profit. That means there is a gold there in the mine. In order to dig it, you need to put your money into the prevention cost, right? In the prevention area. So the rest I skip and then, so I just wanted to give you, my thinking. Today, whatever I'm going to do, some of the slides or some of the points I'm trying to say, you may think that I am absurd, I'm not okay. So since 1 hour I am open for debate, etc. I'm telling my view, which I have been trying to put in use for the last 20-25 years. And if you ask me how much successful we are, maybe 40-50%. You have to work for another decade if health permits. But doesn't mean that just because it is getting delayed doesn't mean that it is wrong. That is my, so whatever I get an opportunity, I always try to share. It's nothing against or opposite or for TPMD. It's all same only, but I'm telling in a different perspective, in a different way. That's the only difference today, okay? So I say quality control department, you expect your system to produce low quality goods. Because you know that you are going to produce, you are keeping a department to check it. You see that there is a pre-call and all, there is a big line of people sitting for incoming inspection. Because you expect your suppliers to supply you wrong component and you put a team of people to check it. You have a GRN, you have an inspection report, somebody has to key in and the component goes back and the end of the month the same component comes back. End of the month you are in demand of products and the same component which you rejected in the first week of the month, you accept it in the last week of month, right? So instead of that, if you work closely with your suppliers to improve their systems and put a system in place which can produce quality, your whole incoming department can be eliminated, right? So QC does not ensure quality. QC only exposes the lack of quality. That's what you should understand. So QC, now QC means, okay, I have a QC department, everything is taken care. No, they are only sitting and exposing you the lack of quality you are having. They do not ensure quality. The person who checks it become responsible. So if I ask you, in your company, who is responsible for quality? QC person, right? That is the most crime we are committing to society. Quality is everybody's job. As I said, continuous improvement is everybody's life purpose. Quality, doing everything, not only part and product. Whatever you do in your life, you do with quality. That is your responsibility, right? Then how can the QC person, he is only checking and telling that he rejected, produced by somebody else. How can that person become responsible for wrong component, right? So the person who checks is not responsible for quality. Similarly, some companies have got quality assurance. So here, the system may assure that the quality of the product, but the person who are in the quality assurance department are made responsible for quality, which is incorrect. He is not responsible. In our company, there is no quality department, for your information. We have no quality department. We have an engineering department which is responsible. So a business that misuses what it has by putting a quality department, knowingly that you are producing defecting, is a misuse of the system, right? If a business that misuses what it has will continue to misuse what it can get. So the point is, cure the misuse. So how do we cure the misuse? Is by simply learning and implementing the best practices throughout the organization to produce quality, not by merely checking it. That's the introduction session. So now let's talk about how the Q is produced. So we all know that we have TQM, morning also many people spoken about TPM, lean, it's all fine. As long as any one of them, if you meticulously follow and implement, anything is fine. But are we doing it? Most of the time, these things you have a consultant to work with, consultant will train you. By the time some people will go, some people will come new, and 1 year after the management realizes that nothing much has happened, the management gets frustrated and they put it on hold. Let us revisit after some time. Then a pandemic will come, an earthquake will come, etc., etc. I have seen in my 40 years of working that most of the time it all starts with a very good note, it progresses, but never gets completed well. Right? So, what we need is, if you want to consistently producing quality, which is not producing rejection at all, means we are talking about a 6 sigma level, right? You all understand 6 sigma level. 6 sigma level, we are talking about 3.4 million opportunities, right? Like your aircraft business. There is an Indian business model which works like that. Do you know what it is? In a 6 sigma level, Indian business model, very, very low level business model. It works so? Dabawala, exactly. So that level of quality system we want. And I am telling that, let us building quality into the process. Again, the word process is the way to achieve that level. So start doing it now. You don't have to make a miracle by tomorrow morning, but you have to make a miracle by tomorrow morning by taking a decision that I'm going to do it progressively over a period of time. Then small steps we can improve upon. So this session is not all about QM, TPM, 6 Sigma, Lean, etc., rather than producing quality by building quality into the process. Okay, let us talk a little. Here I just want to play a little. So quality has to be produced, not to be checked. That's what we've spoken until now, right? Adding quality checking activities into your process is still inefficient. So if you put instead of checking by manually, you put a vernier caliper automated here, that is still checking, right? So maybe manpower is not used, but still checking. So adding quality checking activities into your process is inefficient. The need is to build them into the process so that it is efficient and at the same time effective. Right? So that means process to be, that means what is the meaning of this sentence? The process, again the process, the word. The process has to be engineered to produce quality. right? So let me ask you, how much is 21% of 50? Is how much? Tough, right? So how much 50% of 21? Easy. 10.5. So both are same. 21% of 50 and 50% of 21 is same. So on that context, I put a sentence here. The same sentence I rewrite it here. Process to be engineered to produce quality, or that means quality has to be engineered in process. So quality is an engineering activity. It is not an inspection activity. Quality is an engineering process. If you want your process to produce quality, you need to engineer your process. So the primary responsibility of quality is the person who designed the process. Right? The process involves machine, man, material, your fixer, tool, program, whatever you name it. Who conceives that? Who designs that? Who executes that? He is the primary responsibility to produce quality. The person who is actually producing, the operator or the supervisor, they are secondary responsibility people. Right? So, now we have defined that quality is an engineering process. Let us park it there and come back and try to define what is a process. What is a process? Anything which has got an input, something happening in between, and has got an output is a process, right? It need not be producing a component. It may be a security entry pass. So you are getting a security, you have an automated system that you have to take a photograph, and then the security has to screen the customer purpose of his visit. He may be a customer, he may be a supplier, he may be a visitor. Depends upon the person. The security has to understand him and accordingly guide him to the right places, the right locations in the company, so that in the entry itself the customer feels so good that I am being taken care, right? Suppose you are getting a demonstration and you are getting a customer into your site. So your entry to, or even before landing into the airport, until he is traveled to the company and then his entry into the company and what he experiences within the company, and then goes back. When he goes back, when he travels back to his house, he thinks what he has seen in the company, what he got to feel, what he has seen as a demonstration. Then he takes a decision whether to buy from here or not, right? In that process, only 15-20% is the actual demonstration. The rest is hospitality. The rest is how you treat him, how you respect him, etc., right? That means security plays an important role winning an order. That means you need to have a quality in the security entry system also. It should not be somebody who can come and put a pass and go inside, right? So like that, everything is a process where something is happening. It's a process. So production processes, business processes, finance planning, purchases, order entry, a typical business process, all processes have the potential for defects. If you mistreat that customer in the entry gate, he will not buy that machine from you. Then after that, the whole day he will spend with you without any interest. Even you've shown some first class demo, but he is not focusing. For example, a lot of people sitting here. There may be always one or two people. The mind has got the power of sitting and hearing. At the same time, not even one word will get registered into your mind. It's possible, right? You can sit in a cinema hall, a lot of noise, but if your mind is focusing on something else, suddenly you ask your wife, what has happened just now? But you are sitting there, right? The mind can switch off from here and focus on something else. Only when you, that's why people normally try to describe the difference between hearing and listening, right? Some of you may be still sitting and hearing. So that's what we are telling here. Now, he may be demonstrating very well, but his mind is always, the ill treatment he got in the security gate, his mind is off. So he will not remember anything what he has seen. End of the day, he will say that, I don't want to buy from you. So if you want to win an order, you should have everything, right? Similarly, so here all the process has an opportunity to improve. Now coming back to the continuous improvement, and your job is to engineer the process in a way that it cannot fail. 2015 ISO version has got a very wonderful criteria added. Do you know what is that? I don't hear. Process control, something else? Exactly. Let us give a good round of applause to him. So, 2015 they said every process has got a potential of failure. So you conceive a process. When you conceive a process, you think that this process is so good, right? But somebody else will come and say, no, this has got a failure chance. So ISO recognized that and they put a risk assessment into the criteria. We call it as ROAR. You have a risk, but there may not be a risk, but there is a potential to improve also is available, right? So we say risk assessment, so risk, we call it as ROAR, risk and opportunity assessment record. So we try to assess the process regularly to see whether the process has got a risk or not. Risk is there, you have to immediately correct the process. There is an opportunity, you have to upgrade the process again, right? So both risk and the opportunity gives you a chance to upgrade your process again. And how many organizations will keep on doing that? You have to keep on doing it again and again. The more number of corrections happens in a process, you are trying to getting closer to the best process possible, right? So, engineering quality into the process to be engineered with the best processes. So, I think you understood what this process means. Now, when I say process, normally, maybe there are one or two exclusions. Normally, it includes in 5 M's. You all know 5 M's, right? So, the 5 M means man is involved, machine is involved, material is involved, method is involved, measurement is involved. This is all coming to process. So, you engineer your processes in a way that all the 5 M's are considered. Normally, we put fixturing and tooling, ignoring the man. Even a best process can produce a wrong component if the man is not well trained, right? That's what we call it a skill, right? If the person is not, so suppose in a CNC machine, 1 year no rejections. One day there is a rejection coming. Then we analyze, we found that the operator is changed. That operator went on holiday or marriage or leave. Somebody else came and then he did not understand the process. There is no system to educate him. He was directly put on the job, he rejected that, failed. So even one fails here, the process can fail. There are many other things, but fundamentally, you will engineer in a way that all these elements are considered when you design the process. But how many companies we design the process, right? And in the past 20 years back, we have been taught to do process FMEA and all. You conceive a process and do an FMEA and make sure that the process has got no risk available. But we always try to jump the fastest solution, and then we put a team of people to inspect everything, and then we blame everything on the company and other people. It's our mistake. So inbuilt quality is a journey of 1,000 miles, but the success lies in taking the first step forward. So my humble request to all of you is that just decide to take a first step if at all your company is not following it. It is not a cakewalk for sure, but I assure you that it is possible. It is definitely possible if you take the first step today. Let's see how. So, as I said, it's not just parts and processes, it is even every iota of activity across the organization, from gate in to gate out, has to be engineered. Not just your process alone. That process of building quality into the process should be your way of life in every employee's walk of life. If not, it's difficult. You may put everything in order, but your employees are not trained, employees are not following. You put everything in place, but you try to save a lot of money on your raw material. So you have a lot of microstructure variations happens in raw material. You buy a low quality material, then your process deviation happens, right? So, build in quality. Why? To ensure that we do not build a defect, we do not accept a defect, we do not ship a defect. Right? So in the quality control means you are not shipping a defect, but you are still building a defect, right? With the built-in quality into the process, we are ensuring that we don't build a defect, we don't accept a defect, and we don't ship a defect. Any questions? $12:16 is my time, right, sir? Ravi Kumar, sir. 12:16, so 20 minutes. So let us come to is it easy? As I said, it is not easy. So we are starting, success is here, there is a gap. That is why most people don't do. We, human being, easily get frustrated. When we frustrated, we give up. You know the word give up? We give up. So, but the moment, because we expect faster results. You start a company, you want profit next year. If not, we get frustrated. What business it is? Money is not coming in 6 months, that's not a business. Some people put their money, they wait for 5 years. No airlines in India is making profit, you know, but they still run it. Because they think that one day the profit is going to come. So there are challenges. I already told you it's not a cakewalk, but it is easy. So there are challenges, and that's what our topic for the day. What are the challenges? Why we normally fail? So that's what we should discuss. Let me take a sip of water. Oh. So, the paradox, before we get into the real challenges, the paradox, you all understand paradox, right? The paradox is that always where to start, when to start, how to start. Can we start at once? Is it possible to start at all? And will it work at all? Then if it doesn't work, what will happen? Can we go back to our earlier system? All this thinking in your mind, employer's mind, your own mind, even the employer sometimes says, yes, you think, sir, it will not work, sir. This will take 2 years, sir. By the time we will lose the customer, sir, customer will go away, sir, etc., will come, and we don't even start at all. So the challenges starts from the top management. I just listed few important challenges which I feel I faced myself, and I've seen people facing it. The top management. What are the challenges? The top management start believing that quality can be produced. Making them believe that quality can be produced is the biggest challenge. எதுக்கு அதெல்லாம் 4 பேர் உட்காந்து செக் பண்ணிட்டா முடிஞ்சு போச்சு இல்லை வராதத்து தள்ளி வைங்க அப்படின்னாக்கா அப்புறம் யூ ஆர் கான். ஸோ யூ மே ஹேவ் அன் ஐடியா, தே சப்ரஸ் யூ, தே டெல் யூ நோ, டோன்ட் டூ தட், ரைட்? ஸோ கன்வின்சிங் தம், மேக்கிங் தம் பிலீவ் இஸ் தி பிக்கஸ்ட் சேலஞ்ச். ஸோ அண்ட் that comes from where? Fear of failure, cost increase, long time required, and whatever money I put, will I get my return on my investment or not? These fears make him not to believe it. So that's what I'm telling now. If you are a quality manager, the quality person, there are different job style, job available in life. For example, we are an engineer and there's a doctor. There's a distinctive difference of the job. What is the difference? What is the job? They are doing a service, right? It's become business now, that's different. But basically what they are doing, because anywhere there's a people involved directly with their own health, we call it a service. Nursing is service, teaching is service, because changing the lifestyle of the people, students. Doctor is a service job. And in an organization, if you convert the organization into a society, think that the organization itself is society. Which department is the service department in that? It's quality. And for doing a service-oriented job, what do you need? What do you need? You need passion, right? We need passion. So suppose, in general, there are 95%, statistics says, 95% of the people, they don't do what they wanted, right? What you do is, your first job or second job. You finish your engineering, you go to your college, you happen to be in planning. Sometimes nowadays youngsters, they move faster. The second job, you continue to be in planning or some other department. That job will become your future. That's your core. Only 5% of the people from the younger age, they said, I want to be like this, I want to be like this. Then they become like that. Some people think that I want to be like that, they give up over a period of time. Some people don't give up. We put the status 5%. 95%, including me, our career has been what was our first or second or third job. It's become our career, right? So then, how do you passionately do that? And if you feel that, though, I never wanted to be an engineer, but I happen to be an engineer. So my question to you is that, how many of you happen to be in quality? How many of you wanted to be in quality? If you wanted to be in quality, you have passion. If you happen to be in quality, you are not a quality man, then you always find fault for not doing things. Quality is not an easy job, and especially producing quality is a tough job. And for doing a tough job, உடல் உழைப்பு இருந்தாலும் நமக்கு டயர்ட் ஆகாது. எப்போ டயர்ட் ஆகுதுன்னா, அந்த உழைக்கிற வேலை உங்களுக்கு பிடிச்சிருந்ததுன்னா இல்லையா. வாட் யூ லைக் அண்ட் டூ, வாட் யூ பேஷனேட்லி லவ் அண்ட் யூ, இட் வில் நாட் மேக் யூ டயர்ட். ஸோ குவாலிட்டி இஸ் அ பேஷன் யூ நீட், otherwise you become frustrated and tired in doing things, and then you give up. So team building, you need a team. One man cannot do anything, right? You need a team. So top management assume that top management says yes, let us do it. Then for you to execute it, you need a team. So building a team is a tough job, because you will not get the right people for doing the job. You will interview 100 people and you find that everybody says that I know APQP, I know PPOP, I know documentation. What you are talking, I don't understand, sir. Then you will not get. Fixing them at the right place, we say no, a bus driver cannot be a conductor. A conductor cannot be a bus driver, right? If you are a team of people, the right people should be on the right seat of the bus. Otherwise the bus will not go straight. So putting them in the right place, and overcoming their inefficiency and the instability, people stay and go, leave, etc., you will always have a problem in building your team. How do you overcome that? And then making the team. Now you already made your boss to believe. Now you have to make your team to believe that quality can be produced. இவனெல்லாம் சொல்லி புரிய வைக்கிறதுக்கு பேசாம இன்ஸ்பெக்ஷனே பண்ணிட்டு போயிடலாம் விட்டுருவோம், நம்ம பண்ண மாட்டோம் இல்லையா. ஸோ அது அடுத்தது. அதுக்கு காரணம்னா அவனோட மைண்ட் பிளாக். எவ்ரிபடி வில் மைண்ட் பிளாக். இஸ் கமிங் ஃப்ரம் அ டிஃப்ரெண்ட் ஆர்கனைசேஷன். அந்த ஆர்கனைசேஷன் அவனை சொல்லி பிரெயின் வாஷ் பண்ணிட்டாங்க. யோ ஏபிகிபி போடியா பீப்பா போடு, இன்ஸ்பெக்ட் பண்ணு, கார் கொடுக்காமல் விட்டுறாத, ஒரு மெஷினில் வந்து ப்ராப்ளம்னா அதை 100% இன்ஸ்பெக்ட் பண்ணு, இப்படி சொல்லி இஸ் கம்மிங் வித் அ மைண்ட் செட் தட் இஸ் கால்ட் குவாலிட்டி. இப்போ ஒரு ஃப்ரெஷர்ஸ் மெக்கானிக் இன்ஜினியரிங் ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ், they don't get much opportunity in the campus selection. IT 100% goes. Even if it is a third standard colleges, they get selected. Even in elite colleges like Amrita, PSG, the mechanical engineering never got 100% placed. We are cursed. What do you call that? The right English? Cursed. We are cursed people in the present society, because there are no, நிறைய காலேஜில் சிவில் இன்ஜினியரிங் தூக்கிட்டாங்க தெரியுமா உங்களுக்கு? There is no civil engineering in many colleges now. But India is spending a lot of money on infrastructure enhancement. Where are civil engineers today? Wait and see, in another 5 years, civil engineers will be paid more money than IT people, because they are not available today. Anyhow, what I am trying to say is that, so என்ன பண்ணுவாங்க, வேலை கிடைக்காத மெக்கானிக் இன்ஜினியர், they will end up in Sitco மாதிரி இண்டஸ்ட்ரியில், small industry, they start working. Right? And then some of the company, I am not blaming that they are, but I came up from that industry only. So some of the companies, very small, they have 1 machine, 2 machines, some engineers go and work there. You don't even find a proper wash basin or proper bathroom, etc. They come from there, they spend 1 or 2 years. Suddenly, if you come to certain better company after 2 years, he knows the value of the better company because he has seen the worst. When he sees the worst and come here, he immediately start giving weightage for the better what he see. So if other person, the first you got campus selection, அவர் போகும்போதே ஒரு பெட்டர் கம்பெனிக்கு போகிறான்னு வச்சுக்கோங்க, வித் ஆல் த குட் இன்ஃப்ராஸ்ட்ரக்சர். அந்த பையனுக்கு ஒஸ்ட்னா என்னன்னே தெரியாது. ஸோ வாட் இல் எக்ஸ்பெக்ட், அடுத்த ஜாப்புக்கு போகும்போது அந்த கம்பெனி தான் பேசிக்கலாக he set a reference or a benchmark from that, and he always looks better than that. Right? When you hire people from that kind of company, they always come and find fault in your organization 100 times. But the people come from the lower segment and come, they will try to value what we have built. I always see this. Some people, they don't even know what is the worst part of life. Anyhow, so making the team believing, next challenge. Then the worst challenge is changing the mindset of the people. You will struggle a lot. நம்ம விட்டுருவோம், போயா அது தேவையில்லைன்னு விட்டுருவோம். நமக்கு இன்னும் 10 வருஷம், சப்போஸ் யூ ஆர் ஸ்டார்டிங் திஸ் இந்த 40 இயர்ஸ்னு வச்சுக்கோங்க, 10 வருஷம் தான் இருக்குது, நிம்மதியாக இருந்துட்டு போகலாமே, பண்ணுறதே பண்ணிட்டு போங்கடான்னு விட்டுருவோம் இல்லையா. ஸோ ஒர்க்கிங் வித் த பீப்புள்ஸ் மைண்டு, த ட்ரெடிஷ்னல் QA/QC மைண்ட் செட் இருக்கும், கோஆப்ரேட் பண்ண மாட்டாங்க, லோயர் அக்செப்டன்ஸ் லெவல் இருக்கும், ரெசிஸ்டன்ஸ் டு சேஞ்ச் இருக்கும், லேக் ஆஃப் ரைட் டூல்ஸ், இந்த டூல்ஸ் அப்ளை பண்ண நாலேஜ் இருக்காது, அந்த மாதிரிலாம் இருக்கும். ஸோ வீனட் சேலஞ்ச். அதுக்கு அடுத்தது not having and not respecting the SOPs for activities. காலையில் வந்து சார் சொன்னார் SOP, right? If you, நான் வந்து இந்த பேசிக்குள்ளேயே போகிறதில்ல. இப்போ அது எப்படி புரிய வைக்கிறதுனாக்கா, ரன்னிங் ஷார்ட் ஆஃப் டைம். ஸோ பேசிக் மீன்ஸ், for example, the value system. Sir talked about value also. நிறைய கம்பெனியில் வந்து வேல்யூஸ் இருக்கு. We say core values. Some companies have on the board put core values. If you go to website of Tata, Birla, they have values. நிறைய கம்பெனியில் வந்து குவாலிட்டி அப்படின்னு ஒரு வேல்யூ போட்டிருப்பாங்க தெரியுமா? They put quality as a value. They put integrity as a value. And I am not a big fan of that. If you are not producing quality product, you are not supposed to be in the business. Because if you are not producing quality product, you are actually a crime to the organization and society, right? So when it's a producing quality is a bare minimum requirement to be in business. Then how can you put quality as a value? That's a bare minimum requirement. So அது வந்து நான் என்ன சொல்றேன், that's called permission to play. Producing quality is the minimum permission you should have to play in the business. So அப்போ உங்களோட வேல்யூ சிஸ்டம் வேறையா இருக்கும். You should have a value system. What can produce quality? For example, accountability. You have to be responsible. Sir used the word owning, right? You should own what you do. And you should continuously improve on the domain of a doubt. If you don't have that, and that should be your value. Have to have accountability or value. So value system இல்லாத கம்பெனியில், SOP இல்லாத கம்பெனியில், ஹவுஸ் கீப்பிங் இல்லாத கம்பெனியில் நீங்கள் அங்கிருந்து ஆரம்பிக்கணும். நான் அதெல்லாம் இருக்குங்கிற பேசிஸில் ஐ எம் டிஸ்கஸிங், ரைட்? But so many places I found that SOPs are not there. And some places I found SOPs are not being respected. What is the meaning? Some companies, including the companies where I worked in the past, they have ISO auditing வரும்போது, they will be going to canteen and we ask them, where are you going? Canteen. Snacks சாப்பிட போகிறேன். ஸ்நாக்ஸ் இருக்காதே கேன்டீனில். No, we have ISO work. No, ISO work இருக்கிறதுனால கேன்டீனில் பஜ்ஜி போடுவாங்க. So, and let me ask you, what is ISO work? There's nothing called ISO work, right? You should work as per the written procedures in the company. ISO will come, right? Exams comes, ISO will come and go. நம்ம என்ன பண்ணுவோம், அதுக்கு முந்தின நாள் உட்காந்தா டாக்குமெண்ட்லாம் செட்டப் பண்ணி, புழுது தட்டி, அப்டேட் பண்ணி, குக்கப் பண்ணி, ஃபேக் பண்ணி, திருட்டுத்தனம் பண்ணி, காலையில் இந்த ஆடிட்டரை ஏமாற்றி அமுச்சு விட்ருவோம். And we are being rewarded for that. Oh, auditing, no, NCR team has done a wonderful job. Next week, 100 pieces rejection, gone. Right? So, அதுக்கு ISO work evening canteen free snacks and tea will be available. You can go and have it free. So they have SOPs, but they don't respect and follow it. Many places, they don't even write it. And this all minimum requirement to be in the business, to be producing quality. If you don't have an SOP culture, and if you don't have a culture of respecting and following it, you cannot produce quality. That's a big other job. So superficial approaches, unstable processes, time management issue, insincerity, lethargy, these are all reasons for not following standards and procedures. Lack of skills to conceive the process. எல்லாம் பண்ணதுக்கப்புறம் என்ன சொல்லியிருக்கோம் நம்ம? Conceive the best process and engineer it சொல்கிறோம் இல்லையா? அந்த கன்சீவ் பண்ணுறது, இப்போ நீங்கள் டிசைனில் ப்ராடக்ட் டிசைன் பண்ணுறோம். டிசைன் பண்ணும்போது என்ன படிச்சிருக்கோம்? சிவகுமார் சார் இல்லையா சார்? சிவகுமார் இங்கே போயிட்டாருங்களா சார்? இந்த நெக்ஸ்ட் ஸ்பீக்கர் இஸ் லெஃப்டா? அவுட் சைடு, ஓகே. ஓ ஓகே சார், சாரி. தேங்க்யூ சார், தேங்க்யூ. ஸோ because you and me you have a tough time, Sivakumar, because you'll be talking around the same subject again. So I am trying to avoid. Yeah, sorry for that. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you. So the conceiving the BIS process now, the design now you have SolidWorks. You have a lot of 3D design tools available, right? SolidWorks, solid. I don't even remember your. No, the AutoCAD and a lot of design tools available. Let me ask you a question. Is the tool is designing or you are designing? Is SolidWorks is designing or the man is designing? So why you are using SolidWorks? It's a tool to help you to convert your idea into really something which other people can see in terms of a drawing, right? But it is not giving an idea. It may give suggestions of ideas based on many other people's mind has been fed into the system, right? So the tool will never design a process. It's still the human beings are designing something. அதைத்தான் நான் ஸ்கில்னு சொல்றேன். And the skill has been taken away from us by the American influence of documentation focus, right? That taken away the power of thinking, our ability to conceive the best process has gone from us. அதைத்தான் நீங்க ரீஇன்வென்ட் பண்ணணும்னு சொல்றேன். So you have to conceive, because that is gone away, I am putting that as a challenge here. We are losing the ability of conceiving the best process possible. It's because you don't have because low thought process, because American influence, lapsed upgradation, you will be hooked to your work 24/7. வீட்டுக்கு போனதுக்கு அப்புறம் 10 கால் வரும், பேசிட்டே இருப்போம். We never upgrade ourselves with the latest things happening around the world. Your company will become your ulagam, and whatever is available within that company is not upgraded to the next level. Your knowledge is also not upgraded. Without upgrading what is happening around the world, how can you put a best process into the system, into the place? Not possible. So, continuous knowledge upgradation is required. Without that, you can never produce quality. So, that's a lack of issue. And then your inability to do quality audits. Why audit? So, I said quality assurance should not be there, quality control should not be there. Quality to be engineered. So, if you engineer panni, or the best process has been put in place. And we validated it's producing continuously results. But what you should do is that sustainability is ensured by audit. So, quality audit to be done. 5 minutes. Quality audit to be done continuously. நம்ம பாதிதான் என்ன பண்ணுவோம், நாங்கள் பிஸியாக இருக்கோம் சார், குவாலிட்டி ஆடிட்லாம் பண்ண முடியாதுங்க, மேனேஜர் வந்து அங்கே போய் சொல்லிட்டாருங்க, இங்கே போய் சொல்லிட்டு quality audit is compromised. The process must have gone into some bugs that start producing the rejections again. We think that the process itself is wrong and we dump the process. We throw it away. So like that, the challenges are there. There are many others not focusing on process analysis. So you find that there is a bug coming after auditing. Then you have to analyze the process to ensure that what went wrong, right? So the analytical capability is also taken away from us. Our mind is not working on analytic at all. That's the challenge. So these are some of the challenges I highlighted here. And not using the tools, etc. SAR says 5 minutes. I put a comment here. Due to time limit, I know that it is going to happen because it's a tough top. So due to time limitation, I'm not going to talk about how to overcome the challenges, except one challenge, which is about how to work with people's mind. So mindset change. So working with people's mind is a tavam. Tavam means penance. It's a penance. I also know service ability. Quality should be, a service, a social service. You should have passion to do that. Otherwise, it's difficult process. Another quality team hire பண்ணும்போதோ quality இருக்கும்போதோ நீங்க happen to be there இருந்தா கூட இந்த டேல இருந்து என்னோட take away for you is that just develop passion towards quality. Even if you happen to be there, develop the passion, start believing that you can produce quality, then it will happen. So we must start and work with the mind. Yes, that's the most difficult challenge. It's most challenging than winning a war. Yes or no? Yes or no? ஒத்துக்க மாட்டோம். So I have to 5 minutes. So there are e-learning. So I say there are 2 principles to work with the mind of the people. It's basically an e-learning. E means constantly engage, constantly educate, constantly empower, constantly interest, constantly execute. Small projects by which excellence will follow. The other one is the 6 senses, and the 6th sense is that sense of belongingness, sense of ownership, sense of empowerment, sense of trust, sense of pride. If we follow 5 senses, the 6th sense will be sense of quality consciousness will happen on the people's mind. Without making that happen, you cannot produce quality. So summary of the process, 2 minutes, sir. So I just summarized the whole thing into pillars here. Right from building your team, whatever I explained to you is available. These 2 slides I will be sharing with CPC to your people. So people know this too. And then I put in another form. Then normally we talk about a level 5 level build-in quality process. We have a 6 level quality build-in process. It's exactly the same what I described to you until now is in 6 steps. In the step number 2 is the challenges mitigation, form the team, SOPs, conceive the best process. This is all level 1, you are already doing inspection, etc. Then you have to prepare yourself and follow these 4 levels. That will take years, but you will definitely get there, at least in your domain. Okay, so we'll conclude. I already told you, the one who produces secondary responsibility, the team who designs or designed the process is the primary responsibility. So with that, I conclude. This is again, R&D design the product. Your quality produced is starting from the product design itself. You cannot design a product which is practically not possible to produce. They have to design the best product which is producible, designed for manufacturing, designed for service, designed for cost, and designed for reliability. The product had to serve for 10 years, 5 years. And the engineering department, they put the right process, and the production department use the process without any alteration. That is only their job. They have to just produce it as per that. There is quality department job is socialize, SOP, train the people, do the auditing. That is their job. Inspecting is not their job. If you do that, quality can be produced. So I skip this, tabawala, etc., etc. And then I come to this picture also I am skipping. That picture, what I put there, is a company called Orbit in Trichy. You must have heard this company. Orbit is a sheet metal company. You can see the picture. There are people working on sheet metal. What you notice from this picture, none of them can see. This is 100% run by blind people. And they use sheet metal, shearing machine, cutting machine, bending machine, including welding. And they supply it to BHEL, Trichy. They supply it to BHEL, Trichy. And their credibility, best subcontractor award 2003 and 12, best private employer award, national award for the empowerment of person with disabilities 2010, best business partner award from BHEL from 2009 to 2012, consistently run by 100% blind people, including the owner. Is a blind person, right? So I put a stress layer. This is described by Mr. Aravind Kumar, Chief Project Manager, Indian Oil Corporation. He gave a project to BHEL and he went for inspection. BHEL said, I am getting it done from a supplier called Orbit. They traveled to Orbit. What they saw there is that I described here. I'm just cutting it down, but I'm summarizing. They were producing components to BHEL. Let us forget about they are producing quality or not. But they were producing, right? Without eyes. If it was possible by them to produce without eyes, then why can't we, the blessed lot, with eyes, with everything, then why can't we with the blessed lot can produce with sustainable quality? There's a question, I leave it with you. Thank you very much for the opportunity. And if you have any questions, I take it.